Public clouds have transformed IT for small and medium enterprises, providing cost savings and advanced infrastructure. Data in public clouds like Microsoft Azure still needs protection, and it's a misconception that cloud vendors ensure data safety. The responsibility for data safety lies with the user, as cloud vendors cannot prevent human errors or malicious actions. Backing up cloud data is vital. This video showcases Acronis' agentless backup solution for VMs on Microsoft Azure. With Acronis Cyber Protect Cloud, the required low-level Azure-specific entities are created by Acronis automatically, so the solution can be used even by users without deep knowledge in Azure. Acronis will establish secure communication with Microsoft Azure on your behalf by getting an authentication token with the minimum required permissions on Azure to do the job, thus following modern security best practices. In order to manage Microsoft Azure Virtual Machine Protection, the backup system needs to authenticate on Microsoft Azure. After successful authentication, the system will proceed with the creation and configuration of corresponding entities in Azure, such as permissions or service accounts, for example. After authentication and confirmation of the Azure permissions assignment, you need to choose the Microsoft Azure subscription where the virtual machines to back up are located. The agent for Azure is a small virtual machine deployed in your Azure subscription which will do the heavy lifting of the backup traffic management. In this step, you need to choose the Acronis user under which the agent will be registered and the Azure region where the virtual machine with the agent will be deployed to. It is recommended to deploy the agent to the same region where the backed up virtual machines are in order to avoid cross-region traffic in Azure and thus optimize the backup performance. After clicking Done, the agent will start getting deployed to Microsoft Azure subscription. Once the agent deployment and configuration is complete, the Azure virtual machines from your Microsoft Azure subscription will appear in the devices list and the system is ready to start the first backup. The protection plan configuration is almost the same as for any other virtual machine type, such as VMware or Hyper-V. The UI look and feel remains the same you got used to with Acronis. We'll leave the settings at their defaults for demo purposes. The backup destination will be Acronis Cloud Storage, but you can also configure the backup location on Microsoft Azure Storage Service alternatively. Now let's start the created protection plan and skip to the end of it in order to demonstrate the results. Now the plan has started and we'll skip to the end of it. In the recovery points list, we can see that the backup has been created successfully and is ready for either full or granular recovery. Now we'll demonstrate cross-platform recovery scenario where we have a backup of a Windows system which was running on a physical machine pre-created for this demo. We will restore this physical machine backup as an Azure VM using the same simple steps as we'd used for recovery back to original machine. Here, let's choose the location for the restored virtual machine by selecting an Azure resource group. There are additional Azure-specific settings that you can configure during recovery, such as VM size, availability type, network security group assignment, or disk properties. These parameters are set to have the closest match between the original backed up machine specifications and the restored Azure VM, so that, for example, the chosen VM size in Azure closely match the amount of RAM and CPUs of the original machine. Therefore, you don't need to worry about these settings, and you can leave the default selection. Let's start the recovery and wait until it's finished. Once recovery has finished, let's switch to Azure Portal to make sure it is there. As we can see in the Azure Web Portal, the restored VM is up and running as expected. As demonstrated in this video, Acronis allows to seamlessly integrate with Microsoft Azure without forcing you to spend time learning all the low-level aspects of Azure security, permissions, and service account configuration, while still allowing you to execute the backup and recovery operations for your Azure virtual machines with high efficiency. In addition to that, you're getting full cross-platform recovery capabilities, where backups of your existing machines running in local data center can be easily migrated to Microsoft Azure as part of your journey to the cloud.